Welcome to the Rugby Obsession Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're getting right into some really interesting news surrounding Sébastien Chabal, the French rugby legend.
Yeah, specifically about his memory or lack thereof from his playing days.
Exactly. You shared that Planet Rugby article, which kind of revisits comments he made earlier about not remembering his matches.
That's the one. It tries to piece together what he said and when.
So our mission today is pretty clear. Let's unpack what the article reports Chabal said, look at the context it provides, and, consider what it might mean based just on this source.
Sounds good.
And just before we jump in, if you enjoy these kinds of in-depth looks at rugby stories, make sure you hit subscribe on Rugby Obsession. Don't miss out.
Definitely. Okay, so where does the article start us off?
Well, it highlights that first big comment he made maybe 2 weeks before the article, so around April 9th, give or take.
Right, that was in a YouTube interview, wasn't it?
Yes. And he apparently stated he doesn't remember a single second of any rugby match he played, which is, well, a huge statement.
Huge. And in the article makes a point of saying he didn't specifically mention concussion then. That seems key.
It does. He just talked about the memory itself and also not remembering any of the 62 Marseilles he experienced playing for France.
62 anthems. You'd think those moments would stick, wouldn't you?
You really would. So obviously that initial interview caused a bit of a stir.
Understandably.
But then the article says he appeared on Canal Plus maybe 10 days later, around the 20th or 21st of April.
Okay, for clarification.
Exactly. He apparently stressed his words were an observation, not a statement.
Observation versus statement. What do you think he meant by that?
It feels like maybe he's trying to share something personal he noticed, rather than making a definitive medical claim.
Sure.
Or perhaps just clarifying the intent behind his original words.
Could be. Trying to manage the narrative a bit after the reaction.
Possibly. He also, according to the article, said he has no worries in my everyday life, which is reassuring.
Good to hear. And he thanked people for their concern, but maybe he hadn't replied much. Sounds like he was processing it.
Yeah, perhaps a bit overwhelmed by the response. The article then touches on potential reasons he himself considered.
Did he offer any specific theories?
He admitted he wasn't sure, which is honest. He floated the idea it could be his long rugby career, all those hits maybe.
Oh.
Or simply that it was a long time ago. Memories fading naturally.
Which happens. But the level he's describing seems, well, more than just usual fading.
I agree. And the article gets into specifics there. He apparently mentioned the period from 2004 to 2009, his time at Sale, where they won titles.
Yeah, a really successful time for him.
He said that's almost erased from his memory. 5 whole years.
Wow. That's significant. Not just odd games, but a whole block.
Exactly. But it's not total amnesia across the board. The article says he does have memories from Bourgoin, Racing, Lyon.
Okay, so other clubs are still there, somewhat.
Yeah, and some memories from playing for France, too. But interestingly, these often need a trigger.
Like seeing a photo or someone mentioning something.
Precisely. Conversations, images, that sort of thing jogs something. But the memory of the anthems, the Marseillaise, he reiterated, that's gone.
Still quite striking.
Yeah.
And while we're digging into this, a quick reminder to everyone listening. If you find this level of detail interesting, subscribing to Rugby Obsession is the best way to keep up.
Absolutely. What really got me reading the article was that it's not just rugby memories.
Oh, what else?
It mentions him losing memories from his family life when he was based in Sale, including not remembering his daughter's birth.
Okay, that's profound. That goes way beyond the pitch.
It really does, and he described it apparently not as blackouts, but as a lack of the feeling associated with those times.
So the emotions, the sensations, the sounds, they're just not there for him.
Yeah, particularly regarding rugby, but seems like it bleeds over into life off the field, too, for that period. A real absence, he called it.
That paints a much more complex picture than just forgetting scores or plays.
Definitely. But importantly, the article does say he's taking action.
Good. What's he doing?
He announced he was going to see a sports doctor in Lyon the following Thursday. So that would have been very recently.
Okay. Does it say who?
The article speculates it's probably Dr. Romain Lorsac, who used to be a fullback for Lyon himself.
Ah, someone with a rugby background. Makes sense.
Yeah, and Chabal apparently said he plans to get some help and acknowledged there could be a link between his career and the memory loss.
So he's open to exploring that connection, even if he wasn't sure initially. That's a positive step.
It really is.
Yeah.
And there might be a specific reason this is all coming up now.
Oh, yeah. What's up?
The article mentions he's due back in Manchester next month, May 2025. A 20th anniversary dinner for Sale's English Championship win from that 2004-2009 period.
Ah, the very period he says is almost erased.
Exactly. So you can imagine an event like that focusing the mind, making you think about what you do or don't remember from that time.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That anniversary would definitely prompt reflection, wouldn't it? Especially if the memories aren't readily available.
For sure. So this whole situation with Chabal, as laid out in the article, it raises some pretty big questions.
About the long-term impact of playing professional rugby. Definitely. And just about how memory works. Or sometimes doesn't.
It's complex stuff, and you have to appreciate his willingness, really, to talk about it openly and decide to seek advice.
Absolutely. It takes courage to share something like that, especially when you're such a public figure.
So what are your thoughts on this? Listening in, have you heard similar things from other players, maybe anecdotally? We genuinely like to hear your perspectives. Drop them in the comments.
Yeah, please do share. And if you found this deep dive valuable, again, please subscribe to Rugby Obsession. We do these explorations regularly.
Thank you for listening to this Rugby Obsession deep dive.
We look forward to you listening to our next episode.